各位记者朋友
From the media, good afternoon. Welcome to today's regular press conference. Now I'm ready to take your questions.
CCTV, a senior official of the Peruvian government, said in a world where economic globalization faces challenges from rising unilateralism and protectionism, China has played a leading role in the development of APEC and become an important advocate and participant of international cooperation. And China is also playing an important role for leading the Asia-Pacific in promoting building of an open and inclusive world economy and preventing the world from falling into division. Do you have any comment? The Asia-Pacific is the most dynamic region and the vital engine driving global economic growth. The Asia-Pacific accounts for 1/3 of the world's population, over 60% of the global economy, and almost half of global trade. According to IMF, economic growth in Asia-Pacific is projected to reach 4.2%, higher than the expected global growth rate of 2.9%. China is an engine and propeller for regional cooperation in Asia-Pacific. It's the largest trading partner of 13 APEC economies and contributes to 64% of the region's economic growth, 36% of the growth in goods trade, and 44% of the growth in services trade. We have advanced building of the China-ASEAN Free Trade Area, the high-quality implementation of RCEP, and cooperation under the Belt and Road, apply to join the CPTPP and the Digital Economy Partnership Agreement, and promoted opening up and cooperation in the Asia-Pacific. It is because of the endeavor of countries in this region to follow the prevailing trend of peaceful development and stand against bloc confrontation and zero-sum game that the Asian Pacific has been able to create a remarkable Asia-Pacific miracle and become an anchor for global development and stability. This hard-won outcome should thus be all the more cherished. Taking the 31st APEC Economic Leaders Meeting as an opportunity, China stands ready to remain committed to upholding true multilateralism and open regionalism, create more opportunities for Asia-Pacific partners with high-quality development and high-level opening up, and work with others to build an Asia-Pacific community with a shared future featuring openness and inclusiveness, innovative growth, connectivity, and win-win cooperation. Next question, please. 路透社提问：珠海的汽车冲撞事件已经引起了国际广泛关注，而最近也有一系列其他类似的袭击事件在中国发生。那么，这是否会影响到中国对外国游客及其他人士的吸引力呢？
关于你提到的有
Concerning the incident you mentioned, competent authorities have released police statements. According to our knowledge, in this incident, so far there's no foreign individuals got injured or dead. I'd like to point out that China is one of the world's safest country with lowest rate of criminal offenses. China will continue to take effective measures to fully safeguard people's lives and social stability. We will also, as always, actively protect the safety of all foreigners in China, as well as offered a market-oriented, rule-based, and international business environment for Chinese and foreign companies. Next one, please.
Thank you. A question from AFP.
法新社再追问一下珠海的驾车冲撞事件。为什么这个事件整整花了24小时才有人出来发表这个声明呢？
刚才我已经就有关事件做了。
I've made my report on the incident you mentioned just now. On the evening of the 11th November, a driver rammed a car into pedestrians. This is an extremely outrageous case. General Secretary Xi Jinping made important instructions, and Premier Li Qiang gave instructions. And the CPC Central Committee has dispatched a working group to oversee the response effort on site. The provincial and the municipal government are making every effort to save and treat the injured. As for more specific details, I'd refer you to competent authorities. Next question, please.
China APEC TV，昨日沙特王储。
Yesterday, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia warned Israel from attacking Iran and condemning what Israel did in Gaza as a genocide. And we are seeing a better relation between Saudi and Iran. Do you have any comment on this?
历史性的和解1年多。
For more than 1 year since the historic reconciliation, the relations between Saudi Arabia and Iran have gained progress. China welcomes it and commends the efforts made by both countries to this end. The recent positive interactions between Saudi Arabia and Iran at various levels have consolidated the momentum of their reconciliation and greatly contributed to a peaceful and stable region. China will, as always, support both countries in working together to enhance mutual trust and achieve lasting good neighborliness and friendship. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。澎湃新闻记者提问：昨天发言人介绍了本届进博会的有关。
Paper news. You mentioned that in this year's CIIE, we noted Peruvian alpaca toys became one of the hot items and were lovingly called warm paca. What's your comment on this incident? We also heard about the story you mentioned of Peruvian craftsman Oswaldo Mamani. The cute alpaca wool products enchanted many Chinese consumers and are indeed a bestseller at the CIIE. Mamani once only had a one-story workshop with annual sales of a little over 100 items. Now the workshop occupies 3 stories, and hundreds of craftsmen joined him to earn more income. As they said, China, the country on the other side of the world, completely changed their life. China and Latin America have all along prioritized major livelihood projects in their cooperation. The list of uplifting and touching stories such as Warm Paca goes on and on. The Belo Monte UHV transmission project, which creates an electricity expressway linking north and south of Brazil, has not only provided adequate power to industrial hubs, but also solved the power shortage problem for over 22 million Brazilians. China also implemented a good number of small and beautiful livelihood projects in Latin America. For example, China-aided water supply projects in 2 cities of Costa Rica have given nearly 40,000 local people access to safe drinking water and jump-started the local economy that was stymied for years due to water pollution. China will follow the principle of sincerity, real result, affinity, and good faith, and the principle of pursuing greater good and shared interests to provide better future and life for peoples from both sides. Next question, please.
新社再追问一下珠海发生的事件。日本驻华大使馆近日警告在华日本人不要在公众场合大声喧哗，不要在夜间外出。考虑到近期在中国发生的一系列事件，那么中方对此有何评论？
我刚才也介绍了。
As introduced just now, to our knowledge, so far there's no foreign injuries in this ramming incident. The Chinese government have absolute no condolence for any kinds of violent actions that goes against the law. We will, as always, protect in accordance with law the safety of all foreigners living in China. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Are there any more questions?
帕劳总统说，近日中国船只进入其专属经济区是违反其主权，中方对此有何评论？
请再重复你的问题。
Could you repeat the question, please? 帕劳的总统称，中国船只再次进入帕劳专属经济区是违反其主权，说帕劳方面已经举旗警告，但是中方依然不断地派船进入。
I'm not aware of the situation you mentioned. I'd like to point out that China is a responsible country and our far water fishery and ocean research have been in accordance with international laws. Next one, please.
Hi, a question from Bloomberg.
您对于珠海案件的这个嫌疑人有什么更多信息吗？包括他的健康状况，还有作案动机。另外是关于马斯克的问题，特朗普已经任命马斯克为政府效率部的领导人之一，你对此有何评论？
关于你提到的第一个问题，
Concerning your first question, as I mentioned, all works relating to the instance are under progress, and more specifics, I'd like to refer you to the competent authorities. And for your next question, relevant personnel appointment is the U.S. Internal Affairs. China has no comment on that. Next question, please.
This
morning, spokesperson for the Houthis said that they attacked the aircraft carrier of the U.S. in the Red Sea because the U.S. kept invading the territory of Yemen. Do you have any comment on this?
红海水域是重要。
The water area in the Red Sea is an important route for commerce and transmission. All parties in the region should safeguard the safety in the region together, and as well as respect the territorial integrity and their sovereign rights of the countries along the sides. The conflict in that area is a spillover of of the conflict in Gaza. The most urgent mission for us all is to comprehensively implement resolutions passed by the UNSGs and cease the fire as soon as possible. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Are there any more questions?
P.
特朗普任命了最新的中情局局长，该人士认为新冠疫情是源于武汉的。那么中方对于美方这一人事任命有何评论？
有关
Like I said before, relevant personnel appointment is an U.S. internal affair. China has no comment on that.
还有其他问题吗？
Are there any questions?
好，那今天记者。
That'll be the end of today's press conference. Thank you for coming.